Did I have to? Okay. Testing. Again, this is the second time we're doing this. Okay. Second time that we are doing this. Okay. It's not telling us. I knew it was something that I forgot to do. I knew it was something. I'm sitting up here talking. And I'm going to town too. And y'all can't even hear me. Oh my God. Oh my God. Okay, we are live. This is not part 2, but this is the second time that I'm recording this. Luckily, I wasn't like too far gone or whatever. Hey. Y'all didn't tell me y'all couldn't hear me. I was talking for 20 minutes. Anyway, I'm trying to be concise, okay? I'm trying to be concise because I know the replay, I don't want it to be too long, but at the same time, I be having a good time, all right? We are going to be doing our lives earlier in the day because, well, I'm at home. You know, lives at 5 are good when, you know, I go to work, come home, blah, 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 and I'm just at home. I can get on live earlier because I be tired by 5 o'clock. Anyway, we are talking about the B Simone interview that she did with her best friend, making sure that I'm live. I'm everything good. Okay. All right. I have a lot to unpack, right? And so before I get into the interview itself, I just want to say I'm not really big into like social media and like all the different celebrities and different things like that. I don't be in people's business. I don't be in people's business like that. I don't think you like, girl. Nah. Anyway, but it was a nice podcast. I watched the entire thing. I saw some clips. I saw some clips on there. You thought you listen. No, it was me. It was me. And I thought I was going to town too. I was talking. I was really talking. Listen. Anyway, for people watching the replay, I was talking on the first live and the audio wasn't working. I knew it was something. I knew it was something that I knew it was something. I felt it, but I just kept talking. Anyway, I saw some clips on Instagram scrolling, and you know, it was just basically that B Simone best friend Shekinah. I love anybody named Shekinah because that's my middle name. We're family. But anyway, Shekinah was going through some problems financially or whatever, and B Simone didn't do anything about it. And then when Shekinah pulled herself up, right, B Simone felt some type of way. Okay, and that type of way that she felt was a little jealous, a little, you know. We're gonna get into it. You know, we're gonna unpack now. Before we get into, I feel like the podcast was a good podcast. It was a great a little show. I really enjoyed it. They got into some really good talking points. I like the part about, you know, she's doing a water fast, you know, and she's, you know, working on launching different businesses and the app that she's working on. I think that's great. I really do. But I want to, you know, laser in on the friendship part, you know, because we need to really get into it. We really, really need to get into. Okay. So, the first thing we want to talk about is the misconception of celebrity friendships, okay? Or not even just celebrities, but just people that are like successful in a friendship with someone that might not be as successful as the other person. There's this misconception that you get a free ride, but I don't think that that's too much of a misconception, because if you look at Drake, if you look at Soulja Boy, if you look at Chris Brown, they have houses, literal houses, right? Compounds, if you will, and their friends live with them. Like these people that like stream and stuff, like people be living with people, you know, and they're taking care of each other and different things of that nature. So it's not unheard of. It's only recently, I think it was something with Kylie Jenner had a friend, and you know, her friend was going through something, and Kylie Jenner was promoting the GoFundMe of her friend, and people were just kind of like, you know, you're asking us for money, but you're the friend. You just made the Forbes list. Okay, you're on Forbes and you're asking us for the money. I don't know. I'm confused, right? I'm confused. And I'm gonna say something that I noticed. Okay, something that I've noticed. And I talked about it in our last video with no audio, was if you watch the show Inventing Anna, I love that show. You see how people who have a little bit more, how they deal with money, okay? They are usually in competition of who's going to pay this, who's going to pay that. It's usually not even in poor, I would say middle income bracket is where you're going to see, you know, people a little stingy a little bit. Rich people really, like, if you got it, got it. Like, maybe you gave me your yacht, okay, I'm going to give you my plane. You know, like stuff like that. If you watch the show, that the way she got off, like the way she got caught or whatever, is she was hanging around the poorer people. Not poor, but just like middle income bracket, right? All right. All of her rich people, friends or whatever, it was nothing. It was nothing to be on a boat or something, you know, take, you know, boat time or whatever. It was nothing. It was nothing. It was nothing for them to hop on. They had friends. They would do things for each other. This is nothing. That was easy. Toilet paper money, if you will. But when we get to the middle, it gets a little weird. Now, in poorer environments, I noticed that they are a little more giving as well, because we ain't got nothing. You might as well. You know, you might as well. I'm from Mississippi. Okay, I'm from Mississippi, so I can speak on it. Yeah, we can hear it. I can speak on it because I know what rice and beans taste like. I know what rice, butter, and salt and pepper will do for your diet. I know what you can do. I know you gonna have a bologna sandwich, you know, peanut butter and jelly if you're feeling frisky. You might put some cinnamon and butter on the toast as a snack. I know, you know what I mean? Like, I know what poverty tastes like. I know exactly what it tastes like, you know, and we share. It's nothing to share, because it's just like, you know, and we ball till we fall. So we when we get it, we have a good time, and when we don't have it, but it's just kind of like in that middle income, it's like you work so hard to get out of poverty, or you work so hard to pull yourself up. You know, you feel like, no, I can't. You know, like, you need to do what I did, and you need to get it out the mud like I did. You know, like, that's the type of mentality that I notice when you're in like the middle income range of things. Like, no, I'm not going to help you. You need to help yourself. You know, but rich people do not mind helping each other. In fact, you know, you could be too big to fail. In fact, they pass laws to make sure that you can't fail. And if you fail, we got your back. We're just gonna pass it. We need a tax cut. Who can we call to get this taken care of? Like, that is the energy. That is the energy that I notice. And the thing is, I don't mind giving, because I know what poverty, I know what pain, hunger, I know what it's like to get an eviction notice. I never, look, I'm Cat Williams, like, never been evicted though. I had it before it was time. I had it. So, period. I know what these things feel like. I know. And it's just kind of like, I haven't experienced it. I could never have someone that is my friend go through what I went through. Okay? I could never be in a situation where someone that I call my best friend, that's why I have to ask, are they even friends? How long have you known this person, right? I'm from Mississippi. The least you could do is feed somebody. You know, somebody come over, come on, get a plate. Everybody eats. Everybody is eating. Like, listen, never. I could never allow something like, she could never be like food stamps. We might enjoy that. Okay, we might enjoy the food stamps, but your car getting repo? No. We're gonna figure something out. we're gonna get a cash card. We're gonna do something. We're gonna see who we can call. Like, what can we do? Like, we're gonna be talking to the people. Like, see if we can work something out. Like, you're not finna go through all these different things. Like, that's my friend. Like, we grew up together. Like, I know your mom, your mom know my mom. We go to church together. Like, I need to know the status. Like, how long have they been friends? Like, how long have you been friends with this person? And like, because the way it was given, it's like, I don't know. Maybe people, celebrities do friendship different. I don't know. But it's just kind of like, I could never. But at the same time, okay, I watched the movie Honey. And I want to talk about the character. Honey was supposed to be Aaliyah. But anyway, Honey was a choreographer. She was a dancer and different things of that nature. And, she became successful, was going to these, different parties and getting all these different opportunities and stuff. And she wasn't having as much time for her friend. But her friend at first was mad that she wasn't getting invited like Honey was getting invited, right? But when they, come back together, have a heart to heart, Gina was just kind of like, that's the name of her friend. Gina was like, you're the star, okay? You're the creative. You have the gift, and it's not your responsibility to make me your tag along, right? You're the successful one, right? I am just supposed to be your friend, and I'm supposed to support you, right? But they wasn't going through like, financial hardship, right? They wasn't doing all of that. They was just, going through a little rough patch with their friendship. That's all that was. Going through changes, okay? But I feel like not even just celebrity friendships, but like when one person is more successful than the other, I don't necessarily feel like it is, the more successful friend's responsibility to pull up financially the other friend. I don't think so, because, we do have our own journeys, right? We do have our own journeys, and, everybody has to find their way. But I'm not saying you going homeless and you going carless, you going hungry. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about, say I major in communications and I have friends that majored in business. My business friends are more successful than me, right? I didn't get a job right after college. They did. You see what I'm saying? I have friends that they did medical. They're more successful, obviously, because they're working in a different field. It took me a little longer to find my success, and then finding success in a different field that I didn't even go to school for, right? So I don't feel like it is their responsibility to help me out in different things of that nature. Even if we're going out on trips or going to different places and different things of that nature, I don't feel like it's their responsibility. I feel like we all make choices, we all make life decisions, and your friends are not responsible for your decisions that you make in your life. Excuse the noise outside, okay? That's why we got to do our lives earlier. Okay, it's 4:23. I'm noticing a trend. We got to do them earlier. Anyway, so, anyway. Got sidetracked. I don't think that it's your friend's responsibility to, do things and different things of that nature. I'll give you another scenario. My sister, she was in a relationship, and she would always call me for money, like $20 here, $20 there. I don't mind giving. But the problem with being a giver, you often come in contact with people that want to use you. Not saying that my sister want to use. We had this conversation, okay? I love my little sister. We had this conversation, and she understands where I'm coming from, and I understand where she was coming from. But at the same time, I had to impart wisdom, okay? Impart the game to her, because in a black household, it's like you can't be in a relationship and need money at the same time. Like, that just does not work, especially $20, okay? Because I'm like, what are you doing? So, we had that conversation, and it's just like, girl, because if I have to keep giving you $20 every 2 weeks, it's giving a bill. It's not giving help. you know? And so now I have to give you advice on how to not need $20 every time I get paid. It's almost like you can smell when I'm getting paid, and I don't like that. I don't like being used. I don't mind helping, but I don't like being used, okay? And there's a difference, right? And so in the podcast, hold on, my iPad, B Simone said she had an issue giving to Shekinah because she had given to other people in the past, which makes me want to ask, like, how long have y'all been friends? Okay, because it's not giving that's your childhood friend. That's not giving. It's not giving that. And people be in PR friendships all the time. They couldn't be, you know, like this. It couldn't even. They might not even be real friends. Like this could be a whole little thing, you know, for the podcast. And see, I don't want to get in a tizzy, right? Because I'm thinking that they really friends. Okay. Anyway, but you know, she said that she had issues giving because she had given in the past and she was burned. Okay. Again, how good is that your friend? Because if that is your best friend, I would still give. But it just depends. It just depends. Like if it was that bad, oh yeah, we're gonna hook that up. We're gonna get that straight. But if it's just like $20 every 2 weeks, nah. I'm not the bank. I told my sister, I am not the bank, okay? When I need money, I get it out the mud, okay? I make a way out of no way. Now, you got a man. What is he doing? Like, I don't know. Like, were you listening to what Granny said? Like, did you hear anything that she said? Did you hear? And the thing is that we have to talk. We'll talk about this in another video, but my sister just didn't want to feel like she didn't want to be an inconvenience to him. You know, and that's a whole nother conversation. She has since moved on, but it's just kind of like, no. He need to be doing something around here. Look, we don't play that. Like he can pay something. Okay, anyway, but Shekinah experiences, okay, so we talked about that she went through financial problems, right? Now, she got on her feet, okay? Now, when she got on her feet, let's talk about that part. So she get on her feet and, you know, she had an opportunity, right? Some, you know, opportunities and things were coming her way. And she called her friend B Simone, and, you know, B Simone was not as exuberant, right? On the phone when she told her. She called her back. She said she called her back and, you know, said, I'm sorry, but I felt something in my chest. She didn't say that verbatim. I'm just, you know, embellishing a little bit. But she just said, you know, I felt some type of way. I didn't like how I felt at that particular moment because you just told me something and I should be happier than I am or was in that particular moment, you know. And then she goes on to say that she felt some type of way that she didn't have or play a part in her friend's success. Now, let me put the iPad down because I'm a little bit confused. I'm confused because if you wanted to be a part of your friend's success, it would seem that you would have provided some type of support, right? Like while she was in her rags. Now that she's in riches, you're mad because she has faced some type of success, but you didn't play a part in that. Okay. And I'm going to say, I have things to support what I'm getting ready to say. I have some things to support it. Okay. Cause I watched the entire thing. I didn't just I watched everything because I believe that, you know, when you see clips on social media, TikTok, Instagram, whatever, you know, people take a little snippet out. It's nothing for you to take a little snippet out, and people see that one part and they mix the context in which things are being said. So I watched the entire thing. Okay. I watched the entire thing, and I don't think nobody took no type of nothing out of the context. It was just like, it was right there. It's kind of like, you know, when you watch it, it was really good. There were some parts that we could talk about, but we were going to talk about the friendship. There were a lot of things that we could talk about, but we're only going to talk about the friendship. What I'm worried about is that I feel like being in friendship, you know, you have someone that's successful and that's not successful, right? And I have experienced being, and I don't want to be bias toward the underdog because I am the underdog, right? And I know what that feels like, you know. I don't want to be biased, but at the same time, it's like, you know, people want you to do good only if it's under them. Now, the entire podcast after that conversation, it was her affirming what I just said. Okay, she made statements talking about some, you know, if Tyler Perry, we don't need another Tyler Perry. Why don't y'all just work for Tyler Perry, right? You know, she don't want people to work for her for just a year, or if they work for her just a year, she wants them to be all in. She don't want them to have like anything going on. She wants whoever's working with her to be the best at their department under her. You can be a boss under her. Like she says that. And I wrote it down. Hold on, I want to make sure. Okay, I don't want to make sure. Right. She wants the people that works for her. I don't know if she's saying the people that works for her, they are her friends, or people that work for her to be fulfilled under her. Here's the thing, and I feel like her sentiment is not just her. I feel like this is, you know, somebody that owns a business, right? You get creatives in your business, and then the creatives go off and they create other things. I feel like she doesn't want to be used as a stepping stone, right? And here's the thing, when you're working in entertainment, that's what it is. Like everything is a stepping stone, okay? Everything is a stepping stone. And the other part to that is, you know, I'm sure B Simone is a wonderful person. I am sure that she's a wonderful person. But here's the thing. I feel like she is going to be used as a stepping stone because she's not at the level. Like she's not what we would consider like, I'm not even going to say Tiffany Haddish. When I think of like female comedian, I feel like she's still trying to get there, right? She's not like from the late greats. I would say like maybe a Cat Williams, a Bernie Mac, you know, people like that who have worked decades, not years, decades, right? Generations almost, okay? To build some type of a legacy for themselves. Like you're still in the beginning part because everybody does not know who you are that much, you know? And so when you're on that level, okay, I would equate B Simone to be on the same level as when I was in school, Karen Civil was kind of big. And I was in college, right? And I don't know, you know, what exactly, you know, these people are doing, but it's just kind of like that would be the level. And so, yes, you're going to be used as a stepping stone because you're not at that level yet. You know, and even still, you would have to get somebody that is not a creative. You would have to get someone that is fine with doing the numbers. You know, you're going to have to find someone that wants to do numbers. And these people that are doing the numbers are not going to know who you are. They're not. People that are over logistics, people who are over like real PR and different things, not in the entertainment industry, or people that are over apps, technology and different things, they're not going to know about this. I mean, I barely know. I just saw it on Instagram, and I saw it because I'm trying to get better with my timeline. I'm supposed to be posting more than I am watching. Okay, but they get me every time. I go in there to post something, and I'm like, ooh, what is that? And then there you go right there. And so that's the thing, like you have to pick people and they might not know who you are, right? And I feel like sometimes people use clout to try to get people to work for them. Oh, this is a great opportunity, you should work for me, blah 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 blah. And the other thing is, if you have your friends working for you, that is a no. No, you should not have your friends working for you, because your friends are not going to take things as seriously as they're going to take you, or they're going to have their own dreams and ambitions. And as a good boss, you should always encourage your employees and your friends to do better than you. You should always want whoever is around you to be doing better. And everybody has their own dreams. I talked to my dad about this. My dad is like an architect or whatever. And so he wants everybody to be in the family business. He wants everybody to have a part and do the part. And like a dad, I'm like, you can't expect everybody to live within the confines of your algorithm. You can't expect everybody to play the part that you look. Nobody came to your casting call, so you can't just be casting people in your story like that. We have to want this for ourselves. If we don't want it, we have free will. We don't have to do nothing. Nobody has to be under you. Now, if you want somebody under you, you go, right? You go and you put up an ad and you get people to work for you and you pay them what they are worth. But people don't want to do that, which is why they have their friends working for them, which is why they don't want, like, they feel some type of way about people seeking success outside of them. All right. And then that's why we got to check our ego. Yeah, we got to check our ego, because she found success outside of you, right? She's finding success outside, and you're mad because you didn't have your hand on it. But when she really needed you, where were you? That's why I'm like, how good of a friend? How much friendship is there? Like, how many years? We gotta do some math. We gotta get the calculator out and just kind of figure out, because there is a discrepancy. I'm noticing, a discrepancy with the numbers. It's just not adding up for me. It's not adding up. But I didn't major in math, okay? I read, right? But we reading it, and I'm not finding it in the text. I'm not finding it in there. I can't find it. I'm flipping through the pages, and it's not adding up for me. It is not adding up for me. The other part is, hold on, let me make sure I'm not going too much. They went on to talk about accountability. What makes a good friend? And if I'm repeating myself, I'm sorry, because I don't know. We did the first one. I don't know. Hopefully I'm saying what I need to say. But anyway, the other part is, they were like, what could I be doing to be a better friend, right? And so something that I saw was like, I feel like they had a good conversation on that. Like, I'm not going to say it was bad. Like, I felt like it was a good conversation. Accountability for them is to, when there's a problem, they talk about it, right? And they talk about it right away. I like that, because some people let stuff fester up. And then you have an argument, you have a fight, and then all this stuff from 3 months, 6 months ago, right? And you've been feeling this way in your chest and you never brought it up. Okay, so it's good that they have that type of dialogue, that they have that type of relationship where they can have the conversation like, hey, thank you, but no thank you. I didn't like the way you did this. I didn't like the way you flaked on me to go be with your boyfriend, all this other stuff. You know what I mean? Like, that was a good conversation. That was a real conversation. I really appreciated that. Okay, now something I have a problem. I know. She kind of was like, she was going through something. And, I think someone passed away or something. She was grieving. And B Simone was like, if you need anything, let me know. I can come with flowers. I can do whatever. Just let me know. And she kind of was just kind of like, I shouldn't have to let you know. You should just show up with the flowers. Just come on, and I feel that. That's why I'm like, how good of friends are y'all? How good of friends are y'all? Because if you went through something, I would be on the way. I would be right there when you found out. You know what I'm saying? I would have it Instacart. Instacart is already delivering that. As soon as, oh my God, I'm delivering. It's so quick. Walmart Plus is going to deliver. HEB, they're going to deliver. Somebody is going to deliver something. We finna get it right now. Right now. Why are you telling me what you telling me right now? I'm like, yeah, I'm giving you a hug, and I'm like, yeah, we finna have everything on there. Like, we finna book it. Let's book it right now. And so that is my concern. Like, how long have y'all been friends? And I don't know. Growing up in Mississippi, eating rice, if you didn't, we was good until we wasn't. We were good until that spaghetti came out, you know what I mean? And so it's just kind of like, I was raised up like, if I got it, you got it. Like, if I got it, you got it. Like, you don't have to ask. You don't have to be like, can I have, or can I? It's not none of that. And it's not a tally thing. We're not doing tit for tats. We're not doing that. We're not playing tic-tac-toe. We're not doing any of that. We're not. When we go out to eat, we don't need to divvy up the bill like that, because we was all eating that. It's nothing. And if you need some money, it's nothing. I would tell you, like, if you need some money, you need to eat on a specific budget, because we both on budget, but I got a little bit more than you do, so you can get, what can you get? You need to get what I can afford. Don't go off the deep end. Don't go get market rate food, baby, because I'm not paying market rate. We're just getting a little double cheeseburger. Like, come on now, like, don't do it. Some people take advantage. Some people be taking advantage. You be like, oh, I got it. It's all on me. And you know what I'm saying? And they'll go out and they'll get every little thing. Now, I never do that to my female friends. You know what I mean? I don't do that to my female friends because, girl, no. Now, if I'm on a date, that is beside the point. But like, if it's my friend, okay, if that is my best friend, and girl, how much you got? All right. Look, we got enough of this. You know what I mean? And that's what we do. We just, yeah, I'm going through a little bit right now, you know? And then even like, say you at home, you're like, hey, you want to go out there? No, I can't go. I can't go right now. You know, my check ain't hit yet. My check ain't hit. You know, I gotta, you know, I got some stuff I gotta take care of. You know, you got that money right now. We not liquid. We don't have it. It's coming. It's in the mail. You know, like, okay, well, we're going to go out to eat anyway. Just pay me back when you get paid. That is good friendship, you know. But even with that, you don't sit up there and get market rates. You don't. You do $20. You do $15. You do the cheapest thing you can find, because you don't want to be a burden on your friend. Like, you want to be considerate, because if they were to do that to you, how would you feel? You would feel used, right? So we don't talk about that. Like, no, we're not doing tit for tat, but I feel like we could do a little bit more for each other. Maybe I'm just a giver. I don't mind giving. I don't mind going to the store. I don't mind doing something, ordering something. If I have it in my hand, I would give it to somebody, because I believe in abundance. I believe that there's more than enough for everybody. I know that everybody might not believe that, but I believe it, and it is true for me. And I know that if I don't have no money, it's some coming. So I'm never without. And I always got. I know I can call. I call my grandma. I call my dad. I'll yell at my dad like, hey, I need, you know, I can get it. But it's just kind of like, I know what it's like to not have. So I'm always like, even if it's like something like when I'm driving through the hood and I see somebody, I give them, if I got cash, I give them a little something. Because you never know if you might need something. You know, you never know. You can never say that could never be me, because you never know what could happen. You just don't know. Every time you wake up is an unknown. So you always be thankful for what you have, and I believe in being generous, right? No, I'm not giving no tithes, you know, because I'm spiritual, but I do give to the homeless and different things of that nature. And if somebody come across my path and I feel like it's on my spirit, I give it to them. If I got it, you got it, period. Like, that's what I believe. And my grandma also was like, you know, if you love my people, you feed my people. I don't know where she got that out the Bible, but that's what she said. She said, if you love my people, that's what he said, then you feed my people. The least you could do is give somebody something to eat. That's the least you could do. Pay it forward. Even if they don't have it and different things of that nature to pay you back and different things you never give with the expectation of getting it back, right? But you also don't give if you need it. Like, I'm not gonna give you my light bill money and I need it. I'm not. You know, don't go poor. Okay, don't put yourself in the poorhouse, as my grandma was at. Don't put yourself in the poorhouse because you're trying to be Mother Teresa. All right, make sure your bills is paid first. Then, you know. But if I don't know, I just feel like God be looking out, because you can't be God given. And I tell my grandma, she always trying to give God for a run for the money, because she trying to be God given. But honestly, the more that you give, it lets the universe know that you're grateful, and you get more. I believe that. I really do. But don't get used. Don't get used, okay? Because people will try it. Okay. Anyway, let me see what else. I like that they called out the flakiness, okay? I feel like B Simone has a problem with abandonment, because if you watch the interview, it's about, she doesn't want people working for her just for a year and then leaving. I think she has a problem with people leaving her to do other things or leaving her behind and different things of that nature. I just feel like, and maybe that's why she didn't help her friend, because she wanted someone to depend on her or whatever. I don't know. I'm not gonna psychoanalyze, but I do get into the I'm gonna get ready. You know what I mean? Because it's just kind of like, I just feel like she has that abandonment problem where she feels like, she needs people under her. She needs people around her. She doesn't want people to leave and go do other things without her. She wants the partnership part of a business. But in working with partnership, you have to understand that, people are not you, right? Everybody is going to have their own opinion. Everybody's going to have their own passions, their own gifts. And, everybody has the right to shine. It's not shining under your blinds, under your, thing. So it's just like, if you believe in abundance, then you believe that we can all shine bright. It doesn't have to be one or the other. And I was definitely getting that. Just a little bit of scarcity mindset there, because you don't have to, if you want employees, then you hire employees. You don't hire your friends. And something that I like about Shekinah's story is that she is very outspoken. She's very outspoken. I don't know if she knows this, but she probably does, is that, when you have someone that, like when we talked about, there are male celebrities like Drake and Soulja Boy and Chris Brown, they have a whole compound, right? They have a whole entourage, and they live, their entourage lives in their house, right? And so it's like anything that these artists want to do, they have to agree with it, because you're getting your meal ticket from your successful friend, right? So you have to agree. They might be like, oh, I think this is a great song, I'm gonna put this song out, and it's not a good song, it's not a good idea, it's not none of that, right? But the friend wants to, keep their meal ticket, keep their status and different things, so they agree with it, knowing that's not a good look, that's not a good vibe. When you have a community of people who will only tell you what you want to hear, then you get that inflated ego. You get that, okay? Because you're not used to somebody saying like, no, I'm not being a hater, but that is trash. That is trash. And I don't care, you put me out. But they need that. They need those reinforcements when they're in the lights and different things of that nature, because, who can you trust? So you feel like you can only trust the comfort people. But the thing is, being in a relationship, being with a friend or whatever the case may be, it's like, you don't always get to hear what you want to hear in that particular moment. As much as you want to believe that yo don't stink, it's a fable. It's a lie. It was all a lie. And there are things that we can improve about ourselves. There are things that we can do. We can always sharpen. Right? And I don't like that. And I feel like the fact that Shekinah has her own, right? She pulled herself up. She's building her own brand. She's building her own thing. Then she is not beholden to B Simone and B Simone's brand and different things of that nature. She doesn't have B Simone to thank for being successful. And I feel like oftentimes when you're in isolation and you're being pulled away from people and different things of that nature, God is trying to let you know that I'm the person that did it for you. Not your friend, okay? Not your friend. None of them. They didn't do it. They didn't do it for you. It was me. I did that for you. Okay? I did that. And so that's what that isolation teaches you. Oftentimes, I've been in positions where I had friends that were more successful or a part of different families and different things of that nature, and they did not help me. But I also had friends that helped me, like literally saved my patootie. You know what I mean? And so I'm forever grateful. I am forever grateful, and I'm not the type I have no new friends. That's that's why I'm like, how long have they been friends? Because I don't get it. I don't understand it. I feel like people, God puts particular people on your path, but sometimes if there's nobody on the path, then it's just gonna be you and God traveling that road together, and you probably like, well, I'm around all these people, why won't they help me? Sometimes they want to see you fail. Sometimes they want, and those are not your friends. Okay, we talked about discernment. Okay, talk about discernment. They did talk about discernment on there a little bit, but they were talking about discernment for good things, right? But what I'm saying is, if you're in a situation and everybody around you is like watching you go through stuff, those are not your friends. Those are not your friends. No, it's not their responsibility to help you, but I'm just like, you should do a little something. Band together and do something and pull something together. Okay, gift basket or a card. I'm good for a card. I would go and get you a card. They are $2 for $1 at the thing, and I would put some money in there. Okay, because I know sometimes you open the card, you like, I put a little something in there. I would go get you a card, make you a little gift basket, put a candle in there, a little snuggie or something. Like, put something together. I'm from Mississippi, so I'm from the hospitality state. So I believe in thank you cards and all that type of stuff. I do, because you just never know. And I feel like those things go a long way. I feel like people are just so cantankerous and just, no. And then the other part, when they talk about discernment, right? They talk about discernment. They were talking about how can't you discern for good things and it's only for bad things. And so basically people speaking over you, your so-called friends speaking over you and saying, things like, or you think that's a good idea, and just basically giving hater energy, like basically you a hater. And so, to that, I would say the discernment, everybody's discernment or just their perspective is going to be based on their worldview and their experiences. So I wouldn't expect to get discernment about certain things. Like if I'm talking to my grandmother, I wouldn't ask her for her opinion, or I wouldn't even talk to her about YouTube, because she don't know nothing about YouTube. She just got a new car, and she trying to figure out the Bluetooth, how to connect the Bluetooth. And I told her, I don't know how to do that. I use the cord. I don't know nothing about no Bluetooth or how to do all of that. You know what I mean? So it's just kind of like when you're getting discernment, right? Or when you're getting opinions from your friends, associates, or whoever you're around, you have to take into consideration where they are and how their life is going. I'm not gonna talk about social media with my family because they don't know what they don't know what that is. They don't know what that is. They put "the" in front of it. The YouTube, yeah, the TikTok, yeah. They don't know nothing about that. So it's just kind of like you can't get opinions from people that don't know what you're talking about. They don't. And here's the thing. I feel like iron sharpens iron. If there's something that you can learn, then yeah, we'll take that on the chin. But if it's, girl, no, we're not gonna just take everything. No, come on now, no. And then the other thing is, it would be great for people to be happy for you, But the thing is, you got to be happy for yourself. You have to know that you deserve whatever it is that God brought you out of wherever you was at. Okay, you might not be in the best position, but you better than you was before. Period. So it's just kind of like you don't need nobody to give you a pat on the back. Okay, because if they didn't give you a helping hand, they didn't want to give you no hand, they want to pick you up or nothing. No, don't expect no pat on the back from them. No, expect the eye rolls. And then that's when you got to get into your Cat Williams. Like, we need some more haters. Right? So stop expecting love from people that tore you down or watched you be tore down and did nothing about it, because silence is still an answer. Okay, if they don't say nothing, if they don't do nothing, that is your answer. That is how they feel. So, excuse me. Don't, none of that. Let me make sure I'm covering everything. Okay. It was a good little podcast, I will say. I like that they said that not every friend or business partner will understand your vision. That's why you need to get real employees. Don't hire your friends to work for you like that, because everybody got their own dream. Other part is friendships are hard to come by. I do believe that friendships are hard to come by, especially like as an adult, because you might be by yourself. That's why you have to go out and find like-minded individuals. Your interests change over time. Like the things, like I don't go to parties, I don't go to clubs, and there's nothing wrong with people that do that, you know what I mean? But it's just kind of like I'm not resonating with that energy, so I don't go to those things, right? Yeah, like I'm not really for that. I'm really not. I forgot what I was going to talk about. I wanted to talk about the fact that she was talking about her flaking on her, because I felt a little called out, because I used to flake on my friends all the time. But let me tell you the story. So, they were always like, hey, let's hang out. But then when we go hang out, it be other people there, and it's almost like a house party. And I thought that we were just chilling. And see, that's when I learned, when I was in like around sophomore year in college, sophomore, junior year, I was getting into my introvert bag. I feel like freshman year, everybody's trying to get to know each other. You're coming into your own, making friends and different things of that nature. Sophomore year, we're kind of middle ground, but sophomore to like junior to senior, I was kind of like an introvert. I had my own things going on, and I didn't want to hang around with people that I didn't know. I didn't want to drink around people that I didn't know. I didn't want to partake in festivities around people that I didn't know. And it just kind of gave like, if we're only hanging around each other when we're in crowded spaces and different things of that nature, it makes me feel like my presence is not enough. You see what I'm saying? Like if we only have to hang around other people, like, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, I would flake, because you were like, let's hang out. And I thought it was just going to be us. But it's all these other people. And I don't know these people. And it's like you have to perform. You have to perform to be around these other people. And sometimes I don't want to perform. I just want to relax. I just want to chill. Like I'm just trying to relax, have a conversation, And then so I became the heart-to-heart friend. Like if you want a good heart-to-heart, little encouragement, right? Yeah, but the thing is, I feel like that's polarizing, because everybody at that time did not want to look and go deep. See, I want to go deep. Let's get into some real stuff. Like, I don't really care about all that. Let's get into some real stuff. Like, let's cry. Like, let's, and so that was a lot. Because that was not what people want to party. People want to have fun. I want to know your life story. Tell me your life story. Tell me your secrets. I want to know everything. Tell me what's going on. Like, let's get into it. I'm gonna investigate right there. And I don't I should have went to school to be a therapist. I should have been in school. I should have either that or like a counselor or something, or even law school. Like there's so many things that I could have did, and I don't know. I feel like I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing right now, but I am just not that friend. Like I'm not gonna say I don't like to party, because we can definitely, put a playlist on, have a good time. But I'm not going to the club. I don't know. I just turned, I'm 30. I'm not really trying to go to the club. I'm not really trying to do too much, right? I want chill environments, smaller crowds, different things of that nature. And so if it's not what I want to do, I used to flake. I used to be like, I come up with something, I can't go, right? But now I just like, girl, I'm not going to that. Okay, call me when you're doing something else, or just call me on the phone or text me if you need something, but I'm not on that. I am not on that. So, it is what it is. But what about them friends that get a boyfriend and then they leave you high and dry because they're more male-centered, Yeah, I used to be male-centered. Clock my T. I used to be female, not male centered, like a man was my whole life and I was like, pick me. No. I always kept one around though. And they served a purpose. I'm from Mississippi. They serve purposes. They're not, you know what I mean? Like I'm not gonna say an accessory like a purse or a bag, but it's just kind of like they serve a purpose. So, you know, I just, you know, that is what I think about. But it's just kind of like, and you have to also think about, like, in Mississippi, most women would go to college to get married. And that didn't happen for me. So I was kind of sad. About that. But at the same time, I had fun. But I didn't flake on my friends. I would never bring my friends, like my boyfriend, to a party or like a girls trip. I would never do that. I knew some girls that did that. And I was just like, girl, there's a time and a place. And this is not it, right? Yeah, no. I wasn't male focused like that. I was just boy crazy. But anyway, girl, I think I covered everything. We on 50 minutes. I said I was going to try to be slow. I mean, you know, quicker. Oh, let me see what y'all said. Yeah, so I hope, what y'all think? This little thing is not working. What y'all think? Did y'all like that interview? That podcast? I don't know enough about her to say whether or not she's a good friend, you know, but it's just kind of like, you never know with these celebrities. They could be like friends today and then enemies tomorrow. You just never know. And then you never know if it's like a storyline to boost the ratings or something like that. You just never know. You never know. But I wanted to touch on it because I feel like there was this other thing about splitting the bill. That's why I had to bring that up too. Because people talk about splitting the bill. They be talking about splitting the bill. They be doing all that stuff about friendship. I feel like there's always a new topic for people to talk about, you know. Meanwhile, the world is going up. We're going to talk about that tomorrow, okay? But we will be going live earlier in the day, okay? We're going live earlier in the day. I feel like 5 o'clock is good for when I'm at work, but I'm at home and I'm still getting up at like 6 o'clock in the morning because of my routine. And so I feel like it would be better for me to like do my lives like maybe at noon or like 3 o'clock, but I just got to make sure the technology is working and everything like that. Other thing is, y'all, and y'all need to tell me, okay, hold on. Ooh, hold on. All right. So, if you're watching the replay, we having fun at this time. Okay, so I have like 3 boxes. I'm about 1 more box, but we are going to go blonde. As right now in my hair, I have the As I Am, and it's giving a little something. But yeah, my hair is like really long and I'm thinking, do we want to go live? I might do a hair vlog or whatever and just keep y'all updated, like a hair, and like I might need to do like vlogs like that, like at the end of the month. Don't do it. 3 boxes. Stop it. I might have to do like vlogs at the end of the month or whatever, just to stay on track or whatever, because you know it'd be the end of the month and I be needing to get my life together. But I already bought 3 boxes, sis. So it was either that or I was gonna do a wig. But I'm ready. Let me tell you, here's the other part. We need to stop wearing the wigs because you see that. And it looks bad. It looks bad. Oh my God. Woo! Girl, my hair grew back because I was wearing them side parts. Yeah. The grease is working. It looked worse than that, okay? It looked worse than that. That's why I was like, do I need to make a video? Do I need to do a live and let y'all know about my hair? But the other part is all my hair is like back to like, it's down there. It's really long. Like it's really, really long. But I am getting some K18. I got some other stuff that's coming in the mail. And I think me and my mom are going to go blonde together. I'm gonna go visit her for the 4th of July. And so I already talking about don't do it. I already bought 3 of these. I'm gonna get one more just for but I'm getting K18 is good, and then I'm getting some of that I'm getting all the stuff that I need to to take care of my hair. It's either we do, I don't know, I'm tired of wearing wigs, as you can see, you know, like we sacrificed a piece of our head. Like it's the light, the light is hitting it, and that's why it looked like that. But girl, it was a bald spot. It was thinning, and I was like, what is that? Like, it looked like a piece of my head is missing. It's so funny. That's why I was like, ooh. I'm sorry. I'm done, y'all. I'm done. I will see y'all tomorrow.